The last man, the only man's got a chance, of course, he was in about 8th place yesterday. No, he's in 10th place. By the way, this man coming through the chute right now, folks, is 3 times, and the only man ever to win the Bassmaster Classic 3 times. 10th place, Rick Clunn of Montgomery, Texas. 44 years old. He's got to have a lot of weight. It's going to be very difficult. He's got to have 11 pounds and 9 ounces, but he's quite a fisherman. Chances are slim, of course, but nevertheless, at the moment, Tommy Biffle is our leader. Rick Clunn won 3 Bassmasters Classic. He's fishing in his 17th consecutive Bassmasters Classics. The most consecutive classics ever fished by a single man. The 3 classics he won were 1976, 1977, 1984. He has won 8 of our national tournaments, and in 1988 was Angler of the Year. Let's remember, he's got to have 11 pounds and 9 ounces, and if he does that, he can take the lead. Rick Clunn. Rick, you got to hold him up high now where everybody on the B team can see. I want you to help me count them, folks. Biggest fish first. All right. Rick Clunn. B team, let's stand up. Let's stand up, B team. Hold him up. Hey, he might win this thing. He's got 8 pounds right there. That's 3 bass. He's still digging. How about it, B team? He's taking another big fish. He's going to win this thing. That's 4 bass. Okay. That's right. I think he's won it. I really think he won it, Dewey. From 10th place. He's going to be our winner, 4th time, Bassmaster Classic champion, Rick Clunn. Wow.
Another magnificent day. Beautiful.
Weigh him. Let's weigh him first and find out what happened. Folks, he's got to have about 10 pounds. What's he got to have? 11 pounds, 9 ounces. He got to have it. 18 pounds. Here's his family. All the kids. Jerry, his wife, beautiful daughters.
For the first time in my career, I understood what rock stars must feel like. Because every fish I'd pull out of that well that final day, that crowd just went nuts, and it was almost like it was lifting you up out of the boat. And the next one is even stronger, and the energy that was coming out of them, it was addicting. So yeah, that was completely different than what I was expecting. And all of a sudden, I actually saw some potential probably in our sport that I hadn't seen, and I'm sure Ray did at that time too.
The second day of the first classic we had here, I had this same kind of string on, and I didn't execute very well. Back then I was throwing an RC3 pole plug, and I lost 3 fish in a row, which I never have done in my whole career. And it took me a while to figure it out, but at the shallow water I was fishing, the RC3, it dives to about 8-10 foot deep, and it was running down in the mud, and the fish were coming down on top of it and hitting it from the top. I just wasn't getting a good hook in them. And that inspired me to build a smaller version that day. And we came this year with the RC1, which is a shallower version. Last year I had a prototype. For some unknown reason, I didn't go down to this water until the last day of the tournament, and I had a limit in about 2.5 hours down there on the RC1. So when I came back this year, I just told myself that I was going to commit to that pattern. I knew I wouldn't get a lot of bites, but I didn't come here to get a lot of bites. I came here to win it. And I was going to commit to staying with that pattern, and I basically caught 80% of my fish on the RC1, and the rest of them on the RC3. What I was doing on the high tides, I was fishing the deep runner, and on the low, when the tide was low, I was fishing the shallow runner. And I was basically fishing the mouth of 4 creeks in the James River. you know, just working the cover, the cypress trees and the logs right in the mouths. I wouldn't even go back in the creeks at all. I just stay around the mouths of those 4 creeks and, you know, work any of the targets that were around the mouths. Today, I've been running 4 areas, and the day I started in the area I was going to start in, the first area, and I never left it. The fishing was just so good. Ended up getting a remarkable amount of bites today, ended up catching 15 keepers in there, and that allowed me to go ahead and get the string I had today.